Why, hello there. I am C7PT, Protocol Droid, and your narrator for this new Star Wars campaign. Let me explain. This chap here has started a new Star Wars TTRPG campaign using this system. But he's actually using these rules, which are the latest update of those original rules from 1987. I will sum up the sessions here for your enjoyment in a sort of motion comic style, very similar to Perry's D&D Planescape motion comic series, of which you can see the first one here. These Star Wars session summaries will have fewer musical numbers and action, and generally be under a minute, except for this one, which has a bit more information to set the tone. Now then. Session 0 was completed over 2 sessions. After going over the rules and explaining character creation, our lads created the following 6 characters. Vax Tovin, a Twi'lek outlaw, played by Richard. Blinn Corrin, a human engineer, played by Robin. Yeet Peerley, a Dug Scout, played by Dylan. Brax Kell, a human bounty hunter, played by Brett. Yormud Vogue, a Duros pirate, played by Trevor. And Patu Velx, a Redixian smuggler, a new race created by Dave. What's that? Where are you, R5? Well, you're just the side character, part of Engineer Blinn Corrin's character build. Where am I? Well, they just haven't found me yet. But I assure you I am an integral part of the plot and the basis for how I am the central narrator. Now, we get to the meat of it. The campaign, the story, the reason for being. Our band of characters already knew each other from some capacity, either as fellow travelers, family members through marriage, reputations, or as mentors. All of them, however, have fallen upon the same problem. They have accumulated a massive debt to this individual. Crime boss Gort Saron, a very dangerous criminal leader in the Outer Rim with a wide reach and massive amount of resources. He has decided that the best way to recoup his losses from these pathetic individuals is to simply amalgamate all of their debts together and have them work for him as a smuggling crew. Quite ingenious, actually. Their handler is a mid-level gangster named Korf Sarb, also indebted to Gort Saron. The idea is that Korf will find the group jobs and take a very small cut of the profits, while they pay off their massive debt, which is currently at 500,000 credits. Yes, quite substantial. Enough for at least 10 to 15 adventures, I would imagine. This setup has already been worked into everyone's backstory, so that everyone is already gathered and ready to start working together as a group. Now, their base of operations is on the planet Corbin, the planet where crime boss Gort Saron is based out of. It is a hostile planet of arid wastes, hot and dry atmosphere, and a hive of scum and villainy. A backwater planet run by criminals and gangs with no imperial presence. Black market deals are rampant, and in fact, one of the main economic exports of this system. The newly formed band of smugglers met with their new handler Korb Sarf for the first time, and was told that their first smuggling job was on the planet Ord Mandel. He gave them a data stick with coordinates and told them to go pick up their new ship at Docking Bay 94. By the way, the ship has been added onto the group's amalgamated debt. The characters made their way to Docking Bay 94 and met Owen and Chachi, the Duros brothers who owned the dock. They found their ship, a scrappy little Gitrock 720 freighter, fresh from the shop. After signing some data pads and paying some outstanding fuel fees and consumables, the ship was theirs. They created a merchant company called Blendon Acquisitions, and the ship was named the Blendon Scatterlight. However, joy quickly turned to horror as the characters were ambushed by a gang called the Scrappers, led by a tough Ithorian named Libs Wimflim. It appeared that the Duros brothers had promised the ship for scrap to the gang. The gang threatened to take the ship for themselves, and a fight broke out. The characters and gangers exchanged blaster fire with one another. Libs apparently knew Yeet Peerley, who didn't recognize Libs at all. Yeet was wounded in the fight, but the characters easily won with all gangers going down. Yormud the pirate even made a brilliant shot at Libs and blew up his blaster rifle in his face, leaving the gang leader badly wounded, but alive. The characters looted the bodies, leaving the wounded to fend for themselves, and then returned to claim their ship. They discovered it was not in great shape, and apparently had been owned by a hoarder, as most of the cargo space was already filled with worthless junk. Yormud jumped to the pilot chair and got the rickety ship into orbit, just as two starfighters engaged. Looked like the Scrapper gang wasn't finished with them yet. Ships shot at each other, but were either able to dodge or absorb the hits. At one point, Yormud had to navigate the Corbin satellite cluster, a vast cloud of old decaying junk orbiting the planet. Unfortunately, Yormud crashed into a clump of junk, nearly destroying the ship, sending it spiraling out of control. Thankfully, Dovik Arm, a henchman of Korfsar, flew in with his YT-1600 and scared off the starfighters. You're all clear, kid! Allowing the Blendin Scatterlight to limp away safely, and enabling the newly formed smuggling group to continue onwards towards their first smuggling assignment. And there you have it. Shenanigans galore and a good introduction to the new Star Wars campaign. Tune in again for the summary of the next session, the official beginning of Episode 1, A Simple Job.